Electricast.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of Vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
First, the bad news. SAP Business AI won't help you generate cubist versions of your family's holiday photos. But it will help you understand which supplier is best to help you roll out your plant-based packaging in Southeast Asia, or identify the training your junior project manager needs to rise up the ranks, and automate repetitive tasks while you focus on big innovations, so you can be ready for the next opportunity. Revolutionary technology, real-world results. That's SAP Business AI.
On this episode of MTP, we talk about how the Patriots have once again become a force to be reckoned with in the NFL, how Matt Nagy still has a head coaching job with the Chicago Bears, and we'll take a look at the big shakeup in this week's Power Rankings. This is Missing the Point, episode 97. Happy Thanksgiving!
All right. How do you want to begin this? This episode of television via the ears.
I like that. Well, we're just like that. Welcome to Missing the Point, everyone. As DK just said it, television for your ears. I'm the real BK Bob Kelly. That's DK Sizzle. As always, our producer, Craig D'Alessandro. So we'll just jump right into it. Probably the weirdest 2 weeks of football that I can possibly remember.
It's been a weird season.
Yeah, the past 3 weeks, man, have been just wild. With
no one's
teams. Good. Yeah, literally, no one wants to be the best team in the NFL.
No one's terrible. I mean, there's a couple of teams that are terrible, but like the usual suspects. But like I remember a season like this. Do you remember? This might be a deep cut for you, but do you remember the soccer season where Leicester City won the league? And everybody was like talking about it because like they were like not good.
Actually, it was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, it was right around there. It was maybe a little bit before that. Actually, I think it was like 2015, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. It all blends. But especially post pandemic, my time dilation is just completely fucked. But like the reason why they won the league, and it was like a nice story. But the reason why they won the league is because nobody was good that year. Like everybody else fucking fell off. So, and like not to take away from their accomplishments, but like they haven't won it since. And like, I think that might be, this season might be, in the NFL, might be poised to have a fucking weird team win the Super Bowl. Because like maybe the Cowboys, I don't know. I could see it. I mean, I know they're coming off an L, but like someone weird I think is going to win. Because everybody at the start of the season now, you don't think like this now, but everyone at the start of the season was like the Bills, man, holy shit. Like they're fucking scary. Like the Chiefs, the fucking Bucks, like the dark horses that are now emerging as the dark horses were not the same dark horses we had at the start of the season. And like, it's been kind of fun to watch because you can actually watch like neutral games and it's not a foregone conclusion, because there was a couple of years there where like every time the Kansas City Chiefs played a team, they were pretty much guaranteed to win, which kind of gets boring, you know? So it's like, now you get to tune into games on like Thursday nights. And it's like, there's no really like dud games, like really, you know, it's like, especially right around now in the season when there's like bye weeks, like for all the teams, it's like, oh great. The fucking, or like what I always call the all-time worst game, like the Steelers are playing the Ravens, like it's a divisional game, like you guys are gonna love it. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to watch it be like 6-3. It's like someone gets a safety, another team gets 2 field goals, and then they like shake hands and all go home. But it's like, I think like every game has been interesting. Like every time the Titans, I think are gonna win for some reason, and then they don't. They lose to weird teams. Like I know they have a big injury, but then like they won games that I didn't think they were going to win after that. And it's like, it's been fun.
It just seems like no one wants anytime. So this leads right into the Cowboys. Anytime a team has a chance to really take a grasp on that number one spot, every single week, it seems like that team blows it. And this week that was unfortunately my Dallas Cowboys. So after seeing the Titans get embarrassed by the Texans at home in Tennessee, which is the worst part about that.
Of all teams, too, because like I would have said they were the worst team in the NFL going into that
The
week.
Texans, absolutely. Yeah, them or the Lions. It was close. But Cowboys go in, just lay an absolute dud, man. I kind of saw it coming. This is the first game Dak Prescott has played without Amari Cooper in about 2 years. And I don't know if you guys remember pre-Amari Dak Prescott, but this is kind of what it looked like every once in a while, where he was just off for some reason, missing throws. And I feel like with Dak, once the snowball starts, it's hard to stop it, which is kind of scary for our future prospects here. But
it's weird though, isn't it? Because like I feel like his ceiling to me is like not a Cowboys fan is like very high, and like I feel like I watch him play in high profile games like the Chiefs game, and he performs. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's like when they played Tampa Bay at the start of the year, like he was matching Brady throw for throw, which isn't a good strategy when you're playing Tom Brady, but like it was still impressive on an individual level watching Dak do that. So I thought I was a little surprised that he didn't kind of come to play. Like he played exceptionally badly in that game, and I'm a little surprised he didn't come to play considering the stage.
What happens with him is he gets happy feet in the pocket too, where once he starts to get rushed, man, he takes so many bad sacks and so many fumbles.
That's like a rookie thing that he needs to get rid of, though.
Yeah,
like, there's no excuses for that anymore. Like you need to just have some fucking pocket presence and awareness,
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, once it started going downhill for the Cowboys, I mean, once we start missing penalties, once there's things that happen out of the Cowboys' control, they let it get in their head for some reason. Again, I think that goes back to coaching. I think McCarthy's a joke.
Do you really? I feel like, wouldn't you be happy with it right now?
Yeah, listen, I'm more happy with Dan Quinn. I think the defense played great against the Chiefs, considering, the Chiefs were supposed to be back. We only gave up 19 points after looking like we were going to get shredded all game. It just, like I said, the Cowboys had a chance to really stand out and show that they are the best team in the NFL, because they beat the Chiefs on Sunday. We're sitting here, we're having a conversation about why aren't the Cowboys the best team in the league? You know what I mean? That's absolutely the cover. And we can still have that conversation. But listen, 2 out of 3 weeks now for this offense, they've laid absolute fucking duds. 2 out of 3 weeks against the Broncos. I think they had the great game against the Falcons, which isn't saying much. And then they come out and lay a dud against Kansas City. Again, like I said, it's without Amari Cooper, without CeeDee Lamb for half the game, without, Randy Gregory, without DeMarcus Lawrence. Like the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
All right. So the Cowboys are very banged up. And I don't want to make excuses. They should have showed up better than they did. I don't think it's too much of an indictment moving forward. If we lose to the Raiders, I'm in full panic mode. But as of right now, not quite yet.
Let me ask you something, because I want to go back to what you said about McCarthy, because it's strange to me that you say that, because to me, the Dallas Cowboys identity as an organization, and this is not me giving you shit, it's just my observation over the last few years. The Dallas Cowboys identity is to get almost to the precipice of being elite and falling short. And I feel like, I've seen them in NFC Championship games do exactly that. And I did, last time you and I were on a show together, I did say they had kind of like Atlanta Falcons 15-1 vibes, where like there was kind of holes that you could see as you're like as on the offensive side of the ball. I think defensively, I think they're still very solid. But on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, and like Stephon Diggs' brother, which is still hilarious to me that became an actual thing. But because I really made fun of you the first time you said it like 2 off seasons ago, where I was like, yeah, Tom Brady's cousin. It's like, let's just invite the whole fucking family. It turns out he's really good. But McCarthy, like, isn't he exactly the kind of coach you would want when you have a franchise where the jersey is very heavy? I feel like there's some weird sort of atmospheric pressure in Dallas, where even though they haven't been the top of the pile, they have this mentality, the Jerry Jones sort of mentality of like, we should be top of the pile. Like, let's be the best team. Let's be America's team, blah, 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 blah. And I wonder if that pressure as an organization sort of bleeds down into the players, and the jersey becomes very heavy to wear because there's maybe a lot of pressure in the atmosphere in Dallas. And it's not necessarily the head coach's fault creating that environment. But I think McCarthy might be the exact type of guy to lead your team through the playoffs, because I've seen him do it, first off. And like, you know, as much as like him and Aaron Rodgers had their big falling out, and like, you're not going to credit Mike McCarthy with Aaron Rodgers' success. It's just like never going to happen. It's not a Tom Brady, Bill Belichick type situation, but he's a pretty calm guy. And like, I think he can handle pressure pretty well, especially if you're winning at a franchise, and this is like, I'm not even sure this is going to come out of my throat, but like in a franchise as large as and historic as the Green Bay Packers, he knows how to handle that pressure. And in Dallas, it's a little bit more manufactured, that pressure. You know, it's like if you go to an organization, and no offense, but if you go to an organization like Green Bay, that pressure is authentic. Like the fans want you to win because they have a history of winning. Like the organization wants you to win because they have a proven history of winning over the last 20 years. That's not necessarily the case in Dallas. I wonder if he can be the one to manage you through the playoffs. Because at this point, you're a playoff team, right? So you just need to start thinking about what your playoff I mean, unless you capitulate worse than any fucking team in the history of the NFL, which like I would not put it past them. I would not put it past them, again, because of this manufactured pressure that Dallas has. But I wonder, is Mike McCarthy the guy to kind of go, all right, everybody, take a fucking breath. Like, it's going to be fine. Because you always see them crash out in the first round because that pressure gets to them, you know, or like we're losing games in the playoffs they shouldn't lose because that pressure gets to them. And I wonder if McCarthy, as much as you don't like him, maybe I'm not sure what your specific grievances with him are. Like maybe it's what is it? What are your specific grievances with him? Like as a coach, is it play calling? Is it a general sort of like, oh, you know, remember when he should have gone for it, but they punted in Green Bay? Is that the problem? Like what's the problem?
So it's two things. So first is time clock management. He might be one of the worst.
Every coach is bad at that.
Yeah, but I was just going to say that seems like a league pandemic at this point. The other thing is inconsistency with those fourth downs. That's one thing that does drive me crazy. Is like there's certain times when you're like, bro, go for it, and he punts it, and it's just, I don't know.
It could be worse. You could be the Bears and you go for it all the fucking time and you have like the worst conversion, second worst conversion rate on fourth downs in the NFL.
We'll get to the worst 4th and 1 call I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, you know what? It wasn't even the call's fault, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, so, you know what? Hearing your well thought out, that was good. I actually, you kind of won me over with that because moment, you know, remember that Packers year, the relax year, RELAX, relax. We are going to be there at the end of the year, and then they were. So yeah, I mean, hearing that and hearing the winning mentality that the players say that he brings to that team. Listen, he just seems like such a buffoon on the sideline sometimes. It seems like he doesn't know what's going on. But hearing your explanation, man, you know, being someone that faced him year in and year out when he was playing Chicago, you always had that feeling that McCarthy was going to be able to take that team to that level.
I know a thing or two about the guy, and I think that I always, you know, I think that there's like there's something to be said for like a rival fan base. Like, what are you scared of? You know? Like if you were a Dolphins fan for the last 25 years, you know exactly what Tom Brady can do to you. Like, you know exactly what it looks like. You know exactly when it starts to happen. You just know, and that's the way it is. So if you're watching another fan base, like go through it, you can be like, listen, here's the deal. This is what this looks like. Now, a lot of that stuff is Aaron Rodgers stuff. And I see, he's still, just, it depresses me to say he's still doing that shit to the Bears. He's an elite quarterback. He's one of the best to ever do it. I guess. But the Mike McCarthy thing.
I had to throw that in there, huh?
Yeah, it's just hard for me to talk about like this, but like I'll do it. I mean, it is true. But the Mike McCarthy thing, it's like Man was like, if a man does not have the sauce, then he's lost, but the same man can be lost in the sauce. That's kind of what it, that's kind of what it is for me with Mike McCarthy. It's like, I think if he just, sometimes he goes a little bit too far. Sometimes he goes a little bit over the top. He makes kind of straight. He gets a little obsessed with the Mike McCarthy narrative, but I do think the Mike McCarthy narrative is there for a reason. I do think, I think I would shudder to think what the atmosphere in Dallas Cowboys Stadium would be in a first round playoff game if you guys went down by 2 scores. I really would, because the Dallas Cowboys fan base is a traumatized fan base.
So many puckered buttholes, man. So many puckered buttholes.
Squeaky bum time. It just is what it is. And the thing is like, I know across football, across all sports, there's an atmosphere of a winning team, a team that knows that they can do this shit, and that helps the team. But there's nothing worse that can undercut a team's performance than the home fans getting nervous, because they don't boo or yell, they get fucking quiet. If you're the other team, you've come into the largest fucking stadium ever built, like it might as well be on the moon, and you quiet that crowd, that's huge for you. So like, I wonder if Mike McCarthy is the guy to sort of be like, this might happen. Like, I've been in these situations. Like, I've done this at Lambeau Field. I've seen it happen. Like, don't worry, playing your game, keep playing your game. Especially when you have a defensive team, which as we're all still shocked to say, the Dallas Cowboys now are, and a ball hawk team, a team that can go get the ball. You're all momentum. When you're a team that relies on takeaways, you're all fucking momentum. So you're going to suffer losses like this. If you can't get it going, if your offense isn't doing it, they keep fucking your momentum up and sending you back out on the field, or like, 3 and outs or whatever it is. There's no way for you to win a game. So yes, you can be stifled. Yes, it's incredibly fun, but yes, you can be stifled. But if you have a good head coach, like, he'll get that offense sorted out. Like they'll go back to the drawing board. Like, he has, like, Dak Prescott's not a fucking rookie. He can figure. Yeah, I still think they're a playoff team, and like we said at the start, like, nobody's good. So it's like they're still right in the race to like just emerge as the best team.
And that's where the positives come for me, is exactly what you were saying. It's the defense did show up in this game. Micah Parsons was an absolute animal in this game.
He's always good. That's the thing. You're consistent defensive performers.
Yeah, and they did force turnovers, and you're exactly right. And when we first forced those turnovers, the Cowboys absolutely just gave the momentum right back to the Chiefs every single time. And it is. You're right. So as soon as that started happening, I knew this game was over. A couple positives to come away, because Cowboys have 3 losses so far this season. 2 of them are Super Bowl champion, the Chiefs, Super Bowl runner-up, by combined, I think it was 13 points between them. So like, when you look at it that way,
completely removing the context of the Chiefs not being that team anymore,
they might be now, though. You never know.
They might be back. Right.
They are in first place, so we can't hate on them too much. They're back in first place. So like, as much as we're gonna shift, go into that real quick.
I wasn't buying the shuffle when they beat the Raiders, right? And everybody was like, are they back? And I was like, nah, that's, I don't buy it.
So that's a good question, though. And then they only put up 19 to the Cowboys in a game where the Cowboys were begging them to put up 30 points against them. They're not doing that
thing, though. And he was still. They're still not doing that.
They're still not. They're doing that switch, right? Mm-hmm. Where, listen, last year, this Cowboys-Chiefs game, if this is the Chiefs from last year, it's 28-7. 31-7.
But if it's the Cowboys from 3 weeks ago, I'm not so sure.
You
know what I mean? So it's like, if you can apply that context both ways. Like, I think to beat a Chiefs team like that, you had an off week, but like, that's how you beat the Chiefs, is you take the ball from them. Like, you have to keep the ball out of their hands. And like, they might not be doing that thing anymore, but like, if they don't have the ball in their hands, they can't hurt you. It's the same thing where it's like, you're probably not going to beat Tom Brady, but if you are going to beat him, you need to keep his ass off the fucking field. That's like, that's the only way to do it. Same thing. The game plan was there. The sauce was there, but like, you guys just got lost in the sauce.
I love that reference. Love it.
Gucci.
So, you know what? We'll move on from the Cowboys. So I'm just sad talking about that. We got another game coming up Thursday, Thanksgiving week. This is the boys' week. This is what we do. We come out on Thanksgiving.
Perfect time to have a short week coming off a loss. It's like, fuck it, let's get right back on the horse. You don't have to wait an extra. It's just like, we want to play again. We want to redeem ourselves. Perfect time to have a short week.
And I do see Dak having a huge game on Thursday. I do.
Yeah, they should be fucking better. It's bounce back time.
So what do you want? I mean, we can talk about. Listen, the Titans going down to the excusable loss. I've seen it. Well, I know they're beat up, man. I know, but listen, this was in Tennessee. There's a reason they dropped fucking eight spots in the power rankings, because you cannot lose to the Houston Texans at home. You can't do it. Can't. And listen, if Derrick Henry comes back, yes, they do have a shot to be a different team. Goals and They never released AP today. So McNichols and Deontay Foreman are just not scaring anyone. Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback, and you have a beat up AJ Brown and Julio Jones that might not come back for the rest of the season. So to me, I think the Titans are. I think this week against the Patriots, we're going to see if the Titans are frauds or not.
I don't think that they could have been in the position they were in when Derrick Henry went down if they didn't have a lot of other good players other than Derrick Henry. I think the bounce back they had from his injury sort of to be expected, because it's like, oh, let's rally. Like you can ride the wave that momentum for like a couple of weeks. But then at the end of the day, like their offense is built around that guy. And, it's like when David Montgomery went down for the Bears, it's like you could just find another 5'1" guy to like scheme. He's a good running back, but it's like, you can find another guy to go do that and you can like accomplish your game plan, which is, I guess, to lose. But the Derrick Henry's irreplaceable, so it's just gonna show. And I think that combined with the fact that like we're a little used to seeing 0-16 seasons now, but we have to remember how incredibly rare they are, because there is like a certain level of professional pride in these football teams. And like, there's a couple of good players on the Texans. Like, I know you just listed off like the saddest fucking roster in history, but like, Brandon Cooks is good. He's been having big weeks. He's on my fantasy team. But at the end of the day, like,
it's pretty much
anybody could win.
Tyrod Taylor's all right. He's not bad.
Yeah.
He had a good game.
Yeah, he's not. But like at the end of the day, like anybody can have an off week. The Titans were fucked anyway. I think they were fucked anyway. I really do. They had a couple of weeks of good momentum, but I think they were already fucked. It's not the end of the world. It's not like the most shocking thing in the world that I've ever seen. It's like, yeah, they lost their best player.
And so first, a small rant about a holding penalty. I've been saying this for weeks, man. For such a ticky-tack judgment call by the refs, it is such a game-changing penalty, and it drives me absolutely crazy, man. To me, holding should be 5 yards max, and the fact that it's
on
10
the
yards
end of the play,
right on the end of the play.
Hold it on the end of the play. Why does it have to negate the whole
back
fucking
to the
play?
big bro? It's wild to me how monumental in motivation, momentum changing. A holding penalty really is.
Too fucking big.
It changes the courses of games. One holding penalty. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's also, I agree with you on that, and I don't have the answer for this, but I feel the same way about pass interference, and I know they're trying to figure that shit out. Like I really can see them trying, but fucking pass interference calls can really make or break you, and like nobody really knows what pass interference is anymore. Because I swear to God, there was all of last season, the whole turnaround and look for the ball thing wasn't a thing anymore. And now it's a thing.
Now all of a sudden it is. Yep.
And it's just like, you got to just be consistent with this shit. Like, for example, like if this might be a good segue into the Bears. When we lost because of a fucking stupid pass interference play by a defender on our team, like it was so obvious. It was so unnecessary. It was the most, like they should play it as a highlight of like, this is what pass interference is. Like he pulled out his jersey and then he put his arm around the front of the guy's torso and pulled him back. And the worst part was, the safety had dropped in and was about to play the ball. He didn't need to do shit. Like the safety had the ball all day long. He ended up dropping it, but like doesn't matter. He was going to play. He was the only one in that field that was going to play that ball. So the pass interference just boggled my mind. It should be, I think, an egregious or nothing penalty. And I know that sucks. And I know that sucks for like putting it in the air, like big wide receiver plays. And like the cornerbacks and the safeties are already at a disadvantage. Like, it's just fucking harder to do that than it is to play wide receiver. Like, it's just, you're reacting to the fastest, most athletic people on the planet, like making cuts. And it's cuts you have no idea. Like, it's a big open field. The fact that a lot of these cornerbacks can stay on these guys is so impressive. It's got to be egregious or nothing. You got to let them hand fight. You got to let them jump. It's too much. The refs need to just back off a little bit.
I think a good way to fix it is to do it like college, man. It's not a spot foul. 15-yard penalty. You know what I mean?
I feel like you could manage, you could tactically foul then. You know what I mean? Like that's, I think, probably their thinking. Like you could tactically be like, fuck
50-yard pass downfield, you tackle the guy up.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it. We can, like, let's rather eat 15 yards right now than 45. You know what I mean? It's like, that guy's definitely going to catch that fucking pass interference, you know? And I think the reason it can be a spot foul in college is because, like, there just isn't as much guile in the game and the speed isn't as much. So they're just not going to figure out how to do that. And it's also more of a gentleman's game in college. I feel like the stakes are a little lower.
You know what? Transition right into those Bears, man. I can feel it. I can feel it on your tongue. The Bears have 2 weeks in a row were just absolute heartbreakers, man. Heartbreakers. And in both cases, Matt, if they even have an average head coach, I think they win both those games. So, you know what? Go ahead. Have the floor. I completely understand your dismay. I've been here before, so I get it.
There's two types of bad coaching. There's two types of ways that bad coaching manifests itself in a game. There's very obviously bad play calling, which we suffered through for the first, let's say, 5 or 6 weeks of the Chicago Bears season. And it sounds like you suffered through with the Dallas Cowboys also. And then there's the more sinister type of how bad coaching affects a football team, which is all of a sudden you're like one of the more penalized teams in the NFL. And the penalties aren't, oh shit, like that was a bullshit holding call. Like those happen too. But it's like too many men on the field again. Too many men on the fucking field. Are you fucking serious, Matt? You can't count to fucking 12? Are you fucking serious? So all good. It's just like your schemes, that means your schemes are shitty. And like, I don't know, maybe it's the defensive coordinator. The whole fucking coaching staff needs to go at this point. It's just, you can see the players have given up on them. They just got to go. But
do you know how you know that you're just done with this? Because there's supposed to be 11 men on the field, not 12.
No, I mean, you can't count to 12. You can't go 12. There's just 12 guys. You come the fuck off. That's what I mean. It's like, you can't like, if you can count if you can count the amount of guys that are supposed to be out there, you should be able to tell there's one more fucking dude out there. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a second. I just counted to 12.
Ones, 2 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah. And it's just like, bro, like that is fucking, and like, I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have been like coached that way for years and like gotten away with it because they have like some of the most athletic phenoms on their offense like that I've ever seen. Like, I feel like Mike Tomlin's been getting away with this kind of coaching for years, like just absolute sloppy fucking coaching for years. The problem is, it's been the Chicago Bears, the team and the fan base versus Matt Nagy's ego for this whole season and like part of last season. Whatever happened for him to motivate himself to like try to pull his career around, he's decided that like he fucking knows what he's doing. And like there's some humility missing in these losses that he's just going down with this ship. He's Ahab and the white whale at this point. And it's like, because he doesn't look like a guy who has an ego. I think like he's like, you look at him and you're like, he seems like a nice, humble man. Like he probably lost his hair pretty early, you know, like he had to figure out a way to get girls to text him back. You know, it didn't just happen for him. I see it. But then you're like, you're a sinister little fuck, aren't you? You really just love yourself. And this is the Matt Nagy show. And it's like, is he going to be playing? Like Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels are so nice to him. They're like, I guess he gave away play calling, which is completely normal and fine. It's like, what do you mean it's normal and fine? That's fucking weird. Like, we don't know who calls the plays. Like, and it's like different every week. And then like Bill Lazor's calling the plays this week. Like, oh, it's looking a little bit better. It's like, yeah, but like, then I feel like Matt Nagy's getting involved again once it starts to go well and it goes shitty again. Anyway, the most egregious thing that he's done is he seems intent to not get the best out of our rookie QB. That's very clearly talented. He seems intent not to. And he's putting him in fucking harm's way quite a bit. I understand that our
killed him this past
week. I mean, like, I understand that our O-line is suspect and that we knew that going into the season. But Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, you got to protect that kid. He's going to like, I just sit him for the rest of the season at this point. Like, the season's over. Like, just fire Matt Nagy. The season's over. Lose out. Get a decent draft pick with 3 wins. This season's not recovering. I want Justin Fields to be healthy starting next season with a fucking new coaching staff. That's inevitable. This is the thing that's annoying me about like how we're operating in Chicago is the fan base is calling for his head. Did you watch the game actually? The Bears game against that we lost to the Ravens?
I did watch some of it.
Did you notice that moment where he sent the punt team out and on 4th and 1, and the whole stadium started booing him. And then he like, I swear, pretended like his headset wasn't working. And he was like, never mind, we're going for it. And then he ran that play that you were talking about, which was the direct snap to the running back. The worst part about it was the play was going fine. It was, a direct snap. You never really want to see that. That's like you press the wrong button in Madden. And like, holy shit, I'm running this play. Oh, fuck.
Right. Like, so the only thing with direct snap that always gets me is like, you have taken all mystery out of the equation. All right. On 4th and 1, the running back is not throwing a fucking pass. I'm sorry. You know what they're doing. So it's the most blasphemous.
The worst part is there was a whole lane to the left open and he didn't run that way. And again, it's like, that doesn't, like, he's a fucking NFL running back and I've seen him be good. And then, like, and David Montgomery is the perfect example. When he first came into the team, he was really good. Like, he had a spark. He was really doing some shit and he's gotten worse. When Khalil Mack came into the Bears, he was the best defensive player in the NFL. Like, easily the best defense. It was him and Aaron Donald, and I think he was a little bit better. Now he's like 5th. And this is the kind of shit that, like, he's still good. And, like, you know, he's also, unfortunately, I know. But it's like, but he's also, unfortunately, like, a player where it's like, well, they're going to put 2 guys on him. You know what I mean? So, like, his numbers are going to get fucked up from time to time, like, whatever. But, we're beat up. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry. Your job is already on the fucking line. Like, your job is already on the line, and like, really good coaches figure that shit out. You know, like, it should be about what the scheme looks like. It should be, there's no identity in that team at this point. Like, nobody knows who the leaders are. You got to blow the whole thing up. And like, I know for a fact, you know how I know? I did it in Madden, which is definitely exactly like real life. I just fucking traded everyone for draft picks. That's what you got to do right now. It's too late. There's still some residual value in Akeem Hicks. I know this Chicago fans are like not going to want to hear this shit, but there's still some residual value in Akeem Hicks. There's still some residual value in Khalil Mack. Allen Robertson and Justin Fields do not connect, but he still has like he has a lot of value to just you know, I know we franchise tagged him. Maybe I don't even know what the fuck we're supposed to do with that, but like, or turn him into a fucking completely different receiver or like try and get something for him somehow, make him sign something. But there's not, this team as it's currently constituted, coaching staff included, are not the team that we're going to use to win a Super Bowl, which is obviously should be everybody's goal. Robert Quinn, you would keep, he's young. And like a couple of other key young guys. But honestly, like it's over. This whole Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy era is over, and you got to just move on and have somebody come in and try and stamp an identity on this team.
Tell me about how it felt to lose to, well, I don't even remember his name.
Tyreek Hunter.
Tyreek or Huntley, right?
Huntley, yeah, Tyreek Huntley. Yeah, it didn't feel great, Bob. Not great, Bob.
Sorry.
It was inevitable. I knew it. Like, I knew it is the thing.
You could feel it.
The worst part was, you know what we did 2 weeks in a row? And I know this is kind of a punk ass move to do this, but like, it's like a little bit of a I play Madden like comment. I do think I've seen teams do it. We gave the ball back to the other team both weeks in a row with like almost 2 minutes on the clock, and like they had a couple timeouts. And then we like blew huge defensive assignments. And the worst part is, and like, I know we've talked about this, I was literally sitting there next to Leah watching this game going, like, right before they snapped the ball on like one of their big catches, like in their game-winning drive, I was like, wait, where are the fucking safeties? And then like, I was like,
the one deep play where it was like 3rd and 16, they dropped one safety back.
I was like, all you have to do is just like deep cover right now. And there's one safety back and you got man coverage on this one guy. It makes no sense. Like,
it was 3rd and 16, something like that.
I was like, you rush one linebacker, you get your fast linebacker on the fucking first down mark, you pull one safety up to the first down mark, and then you watch the deep threat. That's like football 101. And it was like they rushed everybody, and they did almost get to the kid, but like, and we were sacking him a lot of the things. So I guess I see where they were coming from, but like in the context of the game, you got to defend the deep pass, and that's not hindsight. I said it before they snapped the fucking ball. I was like, wait, where are the fucking safeties? Why are they all up there? And then bang, we get hit deep. It's just like, I don't know like I shouldn't know as much about fucking defensive scheming as the guy who gets paid to scheme defense for the fucking Chicago Bears. So what the shit? What's like, how many people fail forward to be running that organization? And she's a sweet old lady, Miss Hallis, when we cut to her on the sidelines, but she's a billion years old. And I'm not sure she knows what the fuck is going on anymore. So like, I don't know. It's a fucking mess. Chicago's a fucking mess. And honestly, the franchise, and I hate to say this, but the franchise is an old one. It's a historic one. It's got a great fan base, and it doesn't deserve that fan base right now, because that fan base shows up every week to Soldier Field, packs it out, and they give the Bears great fucking viewing numbers every week, and everybody's ride or die with that team, myself included. But every fucking year, it's egregious. It's negligence at this point.
Sorry. Do you know how Matt Nagy is ancient and just is not with today's NFL? The first 2 quarters of that game, Fields is in there. No points. Nothing. Can't use that athletic quarterback. Can't get him outside. Can't utilize that athleticism.
You can't.
Andy Dalton comes in the game.
Yeah.
And they look like a completely different team.
Yeah, because
Andy Dalton is throwing bombs and doing all this shit. Bro, but it's like, how can you bring in Andy Dalton and look that much better?
Because
Nagy star at the quarterback.
Because Nagy thinks that we've been playing with our backup QB for the last few weeks. He thinks he got his fucking starter back.
It's fucking
he schemed crazy, in the offseason for Andy Dalton. He drew up every single fucking play for Andy Dalton, even though he knew, and just like the rest of the world knew, Fields was inevitable. He was inevitable in that role. And I bet he's sitting around going, look how much I was right. Andy gives us the best chance to win games. Look how much better he looked when he was in there. And honestly, there was a part of me, I hate to fucking even admit this, but there was a part, I was obviously heartbroken by the loss, but there was a part of me that was going like, good. That's another fucking nail in your coffin. Because I know that they suck right now.
I've been there.
I know that they're not good. So like that win would have just delayed the inevitable. So it's like, just fucking, and you know what it is? It's now at this point, I'd hate to see him lose on Thanksgiving Day, and I'd really fucking hate to see him lose to the Lions. But you lose to the Lions,
you got to go.
I will go down there my damn self. I will fucking drag him out by his baldy fucking head. Motherfucking Captain Picard looking visor wearing motherfucker. I hate that guy. He needs to go. He's got to go. It's bad, man. It's bad.
It's really bad. So, yeah, those are good Bears, right? You deserve it, man. You do. It's been a rough season for you. And I've been here. I know how it feels to have a coach who said, I'll never forget rooting for the Cowboys to lose just so Jason Garrett would leave town. They ended up making the playoffs that year, and I was beside myself. I didn't know what the fuck to do. But yeah, no, I feel it. So things I want to talk about. Listen, we've held it off long enough. Fucking New England Patriots, man. This team. So in this year's NFL, so the reason that they're impressing me the most is every single week you see these teams who are supposed to be the good teams, like we've talked about, the Cowboys, the Titans, the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, all these teams losing games they have no business losing. Do you know who's not doing that? The New England Patriots, man. They're the most consistent football team in the league right now, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. Week in and week out, the defense, you know what you're getting from them. You're getting Judon off the edge. You're getting J.C. Jackson. You're getting a Duggar from the safety spot. You know what you're getting from Mac Jones, 75 to 80% completion percentage. You got Damian Harris. You've got these dudes. You got an offensive line that shows up every week. You have a wide receiver core that shows up every week. And you also have one of the best coaches in the league. I'm telling you, as much as we shit on them for the entire first quarter of the season.
Well, they started 2-4.
Right. And now all of a sudden they're 7-4.
Yeah. And I think it's also like, some reporter asked Billy Belichick, how come your teams always do better in like the second half of the season, or like you always like really improve? And he was like, well, believe it or not, we always try to play well. It's like, it's such a fucking non-answer, Bill. Like at the end of the day, like the way he coaches and the way he operates, I mean, yeah, like no surprise, Bill Belichick, no fucking, non-answer. Believe it or not, we always try to play well, actually. I'm like, you fucking
I
douche.
Love that answer.
But like the thing is that like that's a guy who like he's the way he coaches is he fixes problems. Like he identifies and fixes problems. And like if you have a bunch of really big glaring problems, I think it helps him, especially with the guys that the personnel. I think he can go like, well, this is fucking obvious, right? Everybody, it's really easy to show what the problems are if like you're 2-4, and everybody sort of has to buy into what you're saying a little bit more because A, you're Bill Belichick, and B, Like you'd much rather be a 2-4 Patriots that turn into a 7-4 Patriots because you've plugged all your holes than like an 8-1 team that has issues. But like, how are you supposed to tell an 8-1 team that they have issues? You know what I mean? So it's I think it's going really well for them, and like we talked about at the start of the show. It's like it's such a weird year that like maybe the most talented on paper team doesn't win this year. And if anybody knows how to win a fucking Super Bowl, it's that fucking cunt.
I saw a meme that said, if there's anything that travels in cold weather, travels in the playoffs, travels in January, it's coaching, man. And that's one thing the Patriots have.
Yeah, they also have that. They also have their inclement weather wins on lock. So we're coming into the time of the season where it's like very hard to play the New England Patriots. Like there's a lot of teams that play in snow and play in shitty conditions, but like Bill Belichick, for whatever reason, I remember when the Bears were really good in like the late 2000s, like the 06-07 Bears played the Patriots, got fucking spanked. And I was like, we just were sliding all over the field. Like we couldn't stay on our feet. Like it was just snowing like a motherfucker. And I was like, I don't understand. Like we also play in the fucking snow. Like it's like, we're also a shit, like the middle of the country, like the most frozen and horrible place in the fucking world. We play right there. But like for some reason, Belichick's teams can like play better in the snow. I don't know if he's running like Coach Carter drills with them, like making them play in their fucking bare feet in the snow or whatever. And they're just happy to have cleats, but he does something. He does something that gets him going. And I don't know. I wonder if maybe he was given like a lot of rope to that fucking horrible coaching staff he has at the start of the season, and then he was like, "All right, let's do it my way now." I
don't disagree with that at all because it's a different team, right? Since that Cowboys game, that was great. They look
like what I thought they were going to look like at their best. Like
this year, right? Yeah, agreed.
The idea of like if they get it together and if like Bill Belichick makes this team play, like that's like what I was just talking about with the Bears. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of talented players, but there's no identity. At least you could see what they were going for this whole time last season. And like this, even when they were losing, you could see what they were going for. And like, he will bring you an identity. And like, that's, you can't, there's no metric for that. You can't really like weigh that up, because if you play with, Bruce Lee said, I'm not afraid of the guy who's practiced 1,000 kicks once. I'm afraid of the guy who practices one kick 1,000 times. And the Patriots are sort of that team right now. They're the team that they can do 5 things really, really well. They've of course sort of always been that way, like do you remember those, like, Craig, tell me exactly when this was, but do you remember when for some reason the Patriots Tom Brady could just sling it to the slot when you were in the red zone and you would score every single time. And for some reason, nobody could figure out how to stop it. Like he would just get the snap, like fucking rip it to like Julian Edelman, and he would score every single time. Like in the red zone, 2-point conversions, like they did the same thing every time and nobody could stop it for whatever reason until they just sort of stopped doing it. Or actually, I think like they got picked a couple of times, like maybe they figured out the play, but it took forever for everyone to figure it out. And it was like, to me, like I remember watching it and being like, what? It's so simple. I don't understand. Just like figure it out. Just like stop it. They do it every single time. Like everyone knows they're going to do it, but it works. So yeah,
that's that 5-yard out. That 5-yard out. Remember the out?
Yeah. And when they're at their worst, like I feel like one of their lowest points last year was Cam trying to run that same play and Edelman fucking coughing it up right to the opposing defense, and like the guy runs it into the end zone, and it's like, I guess that play's over. But it's like the opposite of the stuff I was talking about with Nagy. There's little insidious ways that good and bad coaching sort of creeps into your team. And like, yeah, maybe on paper, the Patriots aren't the most talented team in the NFL, but like he spent his whole fucking career getting guys that he drafted in the 7th round to look like first rounders, but he also had Tom Brady. So the question was, can he do it without Tom Brady? It's like, I mean, probably. It's like, why wouldn't he be able to? I guess is the question. I was hoping he was a fraud, just because like I like to see my friends in pain, like me. But he's not. He's a really good coach. So
there's a universe where after this week, right, the Patriots could be the number 1 seed in the AFC after this
week. It's a
week.
Weird season, bro.
If that happens, if the Pats end up with the 1 seed in the AFC, look the fuck out. I don't care what their home record is. I don't care. The Patriots in January in New England is not a team that you want to play. Listen, coming from the biggest Patriots hater there is over the last 10 years, I've been to Patriots games in Foxborough in January. And that is an impossible place to win.
Sure.
The only time I've seen it happen is when Brady's just off his game or things like that. But listen, I don't mean to say that Mac Jones is better than Tom Brady because he's not even fucking close. But they're not going to let Mac Jones throw 3 interceptions in a playoff game. They're not going to let Mac Jones give a pick 6 to the Titans to win the game. It's just not going to happen with this team. This is a ground and pound Patriots team. And honestly, those are some of the most dangerous Patriots teams because you're not going to get mistakes off them. And if JC Jackson,
I feel like the first Patriots team that we saw was like
it's that 2001 Patriots all over again, man.
It's like it's fucking so upsetting.
And if you look, so I want to go through the AFC, right?
Okay.
So right now we have 5th place Bengals. Patriots are better than the Bengals. 4th place is the Chiefs.
Bengals are better than I thought they were going to be, though.
Agreed. But 4th place is the Chiefs, right? Then
we have either way. They could be
that could go either way. You never know what team you're getting. The Ravens, you don't know what Lamar you're getting.
Yeah, well, that's gotten weird, right? Like, what the fuck is up with him? Like, he's like very, very talented. Like, very, very talented. Like, provably good. But is he a weirdo? Like, what's going on there? Like, I know he was like sick this week or whatever, but like,
he does get sick.
He got COVID like 3 times. Right. Yeah, there's always something weird going on. He needs to go see a gastroenterologist or some shit, or like an ear, nose, and throat guy, or one of those like specific doctors that fix that shit. That like
an otolaryngologist.
Yeah, somethingologist. Go see an ologist. Go to the ologist center and see an ologist.
But then you have number 1 seed team we already talked extensively about, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, they're dropping off. They're dropping off.
Those top teams. In a game against the Patriots, I see the Patriots being favored against every single one of those teams. And I think, to me, that is a terrifying fucking thing for the NFL. Yeah. It's gone from beginning of the season, me being able to shit all over the Patriots. And it was amazing. Yeah. It was like, fuck the Patriots, yeah. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh my God.
I will say, like, a lot of
what happened?
A lot of the diehard Patriots fans that I know, like my closest friends that are big Patriots fans, were like pretty calm. And like, I really thought that they were going to be like Nancy's about it. Like, oh my God, the fucking, the London is burning, because that's the same fan base that likes the Celtics. That's the same people. But for whatever reason,
how big the disparity is,
for whatever reason, like I mean, we've dissected the reasons, like, why this is the case. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but the fucking Celtics lose a game and like there's people with pitchforks and torches take a left from Frankenstein House.
Udoka should be fired after 4 games.
Lights the fucking TD Bank North Garden on fire. Sorry, you're showing my age there, calling it the TD Bank North Garden. I just think like, everyone was pretty calm about it. They're like, Bill Belichick, they'll figure it out. They're getting there, like they're building an offensive identity. Like they're doing this, they're doing that. I thought it was like a worse, maybe I'm old and whenever there's a QB crisis, your team's fucked in my head, but maybe in New England, it's different. And like, maybe there wasn't a crisis there. It seemed like Belichick was just sort of like we were all sitting around like assholes speculating, whoa, if Cam runs the offense and does this and at the start of the season. And then Belichick was like, I was always going to start Mac Jones. It's fine.
Yeah, listen, you say we all. There was to me, there was.
I wasn't either. I know.
I know you weren't, but I know all New England was. But there was never. If you watch these two dudes play football, yes, Cam has been awesome the past 2 weeks. But you watch these two play football, it is egregious for anyone to say that Cam Newton is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. Fucking egregious.
Yeah, he's not.
It has been that way since week 1. You look at the throws that Mac can make.
Bill in Carolina right now, though.
He is, but Cam's not making big boy 40-yard back shoulder throws into the end zone. I'm sorry, it's just not fucking happening. Yeah, I promise you, Cam Newton with this Patriots team is not 7-4. I can guarantee you that he is not completing 85% of his passes. You can't have a ball control, pound it down in your throat offense with a dude who completes 50% of his passes. You can't do it.
I also feel like
a quarterback like Mac Jones to have this offense. And he's the perfect guy to run the show.
I also feel like Mac Jones understands the playbook a lot better. I think that I think Cam was like, I get the gist. Like, I just think he's that kind of player. I think he could rely on a lot of on a
He's
lot
Superman.
of this. Yeah. I mean, look, he was a very fucking athletic and very talented quarterback. Like, you can't take that from him. Like, he was very, very good when he was good. And I think maybe he still thinks he's that guy, which I think you should have that attitude if you're a fucking stud quarterback. Like, you should think you're that guy. But I just think Mac Jones was like, Jesus Christ, I better learn all these plays because he's a rookie and he's like coming in like scared out of his mind. And he's just like looking at Bill Belichick, who was as old as Bill Belichick is now. He was the same age when Mac Jones was like 5. So like, he's just always been an old guy to him. So he's looking at him like, Jesus, okay, Dad, like I'll learn all the plays, And it's just like, and he's like scared and just, he's malleable, he's moldable. Like with Cam, you got all Cam's flaws. Like, I don't care how good you are as a coach when you're Bill Belichick. Cam's going to be Cam Newton. And any quarterback his age that's played in the NFL for this long, as try as he might to work out his idiosyncrasies and be a different kind of quarterback and fit the system. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he tried his ass off. I'm sure he gave it everything he got. He seems like he's a hard worker. But he's still, that stuff's in the DNA now. There's nothing you can do.
When the shit breaks down, Cam's taking off.
Yeah,
he's taking off 100% of the
What's
time.
going to happen? And
When
Bill
the
just
shit
doesn't want
breaks
you to do
down,
that. Yeah.
Mac Jones hangs in there, makes the 15-yard throw, and takes the fucking hit.
Yeah.
Because that's what the system calls for.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is a great quarterback for Bill Belichick, man. He really is.
Yeah.
And you see it now that we've gotten 10, what are we, 11 weeks in? Are we 11? Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
11 weeks into the season, and it's very evident. You know what I mean? As much as it pains.
Mac Jones is also very lucky that Bill Belichick identified him and then drafted him because, like,
he's very lucky he fell there. Listen,
Yeah.
if we go back and do a redraft, Mac Jones does not make it to pick 15.
yeah, but
Not a
like he
chance.
doesn't. He also then doesn't perform as well as he's performed this season if he's on any other
Sure.
team. Like, look at what fucking Nagy did to poor Mitch Trubisky. And now he's sitting as a backup wherever the fuck he is, and I think he's played a few snaps.
Buffalo.
He's looked all right.
Yeah.
He's looked all right down in Buffalo. And it's like, I don't know what happens. Like, I don't know if he's good or bad or like what he got. But like maybe he comes in, and the most important thing for a rookie quarterback is like your
Where you
scheme.
land.
You fit your scheme, and your coach is like making you into a better quarterback. Like that's you and your coach are going to have a very special, tight relationship where he makes you into what you're going to be for the rest of your career. And like, Bill Belichick did build the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. So, I mean, it's like as much as like Tom Brady and whose responsibility was it? Like whatever. It's like he was a scared fucking, 199th draft pick at one point, and Bill Belichick deserves some credit at least for turning him into the GOAT, I think. So yeah, you're lucky you, Mac Jones. Congratulations.
Yeah, right. It's enough about the Patriots. You know what? As much as I
fuck
love
those guys.
talking to Patriots
Wait, I have a
up,
question
they can
for
go
you.
fuck themselves.
I have a question for you, though,
All right,
honestly.
go ahead.
Have they retained the fear factor, though? Like, are they still, like, say, let me give you a hypothetical. The Cowboys emerged from the NFC. They, in a crazy repeat of game 1 of the regular season, they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship, and, like, they have a shootout again, and, like,
You just gave me
you
a
guys
bug.
just happen to have the ball last, and Dak makes it happen, and you win the game, and it's, like, 44-41. And you go on to the Super Bowl after like a big bouncing win like that. Are you shitting yourself if you see the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl because it's the New England Patriots? Or are you like, oh my God, it could have been so much worse. It could have been the Chiefs. It could have been the Bills. I'm so glad that it's the Pats. Like, how are you thinking about it?
Man, what a loaded question.
I want you to take that, Craig, if you don't mind, take that exact snippet, send it to Mike, and also send him Bobby's answer because I know what he's about to say, and I know it's going to make Mike so angry specifically. So this is going to be
no,
good.
I don't because A, we've already beaten them. B, the
Different
only
version of them, though.
It's the same version. It was just the beginning of this version. Same
Right.
version, first game of this version. No, they don't scare me as much because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. In a Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, so if we're like at 5th grade math, right? The alligator's eating Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is greater than Mac Jones. No doubt about that. But Bill Belichick in a big game will always make me shit my pants.
Right.
It's the same thing where it's Bill Belichick, Mike McCarthy, alligators eating Bill Belichick. So, you know what I mean? It's give and take where
I do. It's a very good visual representation.
you like
of
that.
what's
It was
going on.
good, right? So I do think that yes, I as much as Mac Jones doesn't scare me in a Super Bowl game because he's a rookie quarterback, regardless how awesome he's playing, he's still a rookie in the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick will always make me shit my pants, no matter when we're playing them, where we're playing them, what game it is. He can outcoach anyone else in the league, where you'll leave that game being like, we outlaid them. How is this possible?
Yeah.
And that's Bill Belichick for you. And that's why I don't think there's a team in the league when the Patriots line up opposite against them in the playoffs. They're not going to be like, oh God.
Right.
How is he going to beat us this time? And I don't think there's a team in the league that isn't going to be thinking that. However, I do think our defense, like they did in New England, would force a few turnovers against Patriots. So I still would take the Patriots over the Chiefs.
I
still would take the Patriots over.
Right now, that'd be crazy.
I think the Chiefs are the only team that would scare me more than the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I really do.
I thought you were going to be harsher on the Pats. I really did. I thought you were going to be like, I'm not fucking scared of them.
No, they won me over, man. They did. Because, listen, this week is huge for them. If Tennessee comes in New England and the Patriots can beat them by like 10 plus points, that team is for real, man. And people need to be scared of them.
I don't know, though, because like our Tennessee, for real, they lost their best player. Like, I don't know if it really says as much as you're saying it says to me. I think they're like,
it does after how they've worked recently. 6 in a row, and then beating the team that is the number 1 seed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care who's not on the field, who isn't on the field. Number 1 seed is 8-3. 8-3 is 8-3. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Bobby says that Bill Belichick is the Chipotle of the NFL. He always makes you shit your pants. Can we talk about the Celtics for like 10 seconds? Can we just do a little Celtics chat?
Yeah. Should I do my power rankings first, real quick?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the power rankings. Let's do those.
So we'll get into power rankings because it kind of is a good segue from the Patriots, real quick. We're throwing the backwards C's cap on. Number 10 Chargers. Justin Herbert's a maniac. He looked great on Monday night.
Can love Austin Eckler, bro.
Yeah, and Eckler's the man.
40 points for me, and like they enabled me to beat your dad at fantasy football when I didn't have a quarterback in. It was pretty impressive.
That is impressive. I knocked me above him in the playoff race. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You better beat Leah this week. No home cooking, please. I don't need you to be benching anyone.
Fuck that, dude. Right? After that Steelers game, there's no
There's no more cooking.
There's no remorse in this house. No insider trading going on here. We sleep in separate bedrooms now. Our bedroom's called Pennsylvania. Mine's called Illinois.
And for the most numerous times in the world, it's all Big Ben's fault.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he sucks. He sucks at football and consent.
There we go. Thank you. That was the innuendo I was looking for. Ka-ching. Number 9, Titans. Worst loss I've seen in a long time.
It won't be in the break.
Actually, you know what? Longer. Second worst loss I've seen in a long time. Losing 42-15 against the Colts at home is one of the worst losses. Yeah, but you can't do that at all. You can't lose 42-15.
Colts have something about them. I got something about them. They could be a team next year. I really think they might be going the right direction.
8 Ravens. Listen. I don't know what the fuck this team is. I really weird. They're so perplexing to me. They lose to the Dolphins, but then they beat the Bears with their backup fucking quarterback. Started to get
that was the Bears' fault. That wasn't their fault. The Bears did that. They had their destiny in their hands.
I don't know what the fuck is up with them. So I just put them at 8. They're a top 10 team, no doubt. Well, I don't know how far they can go.
Yeah, it's weird.
7, the biggest dropper of the week besides the Bills. My Cowboys. Embarrassing, man. Only put up 9 points against one of the worst defenses in the league. I don't care who's out. I don't care if I love you to death. You need to do better than that. An average game from the Cowboys, it would beat the Chiefs there.
If that's what your offense is, then you're fucked.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is.
All right, 6, only because they beat the Cowboys. I couldn't put the Cowboys above them as much as I wanted to. We had the Chiefs. Again, I don't know what they are. This is a weird NFL year. I don't know what the hell they are. They could be the Chiefs we know and hate. Once it comes January, we'll see.
But they do understandably. Yeah.
All year, man. All year. I think they were at 1 or 2 to start the power rankings and they dropped all the way out. Now they're back up.
That's what I was going to say. They do have the ability to understandably jump up and down the power rankings very easily up the power rankings very easily because any day now they can just become the Chiefs again.
Right.
It's all the same guys. So it's like,
literally nothing has changed.
It's just the Super Bowl hangover. It happens to literally everybody. Like, I don't think there's ever been a team that lost the Super Bowl and was like very, very good the following year.
I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
Not even the Patriots could do it. They needed a fucking recovery year every time.
Oh wait, Bucks 5. They blew out the Giants. Giants suck. Fired Garrett. Clapper.
The Giants are not good though. Like, you can blame your coordinator if you want, but like,
honestly, the Bucks moved up as a case of everyone else losing. There wasn't anyone in the top 5 last week except for the Cardinals that won. So
I mean, they're still getting the job done. You know, you can't fault them for that.
4, we talked about it extensively. I just think they're one of the best executing teams in the NFL right now. New England Patriots. I can't believe they're at number 4. I can't believe I'm saying that considering where they were to start this season, but they are honestly the 4th best team in the NFL right now. You know, and I really do feel like that because in this year's NFL, consistency is key. And there's one team all year when they play teams that they should beat, they beat. That's the Patriots. 3 Packers. They lost a close game against Minnesota. I don't know if Minnesota's as bad as everyone thinks. I'm really not sure about them. DK, you know more about the Packers. Is 3 too high for them? I don't really know, man. I can't gauge that.
You should have dropped them out of the power rankings just for the performance of the state of Wisconsin this week. Just like the fucking state just like set the country back 20 fucking years. So like just drop them right out of the fucking power rankings. We'll be fine.
That's twice in the past 5 weeks. The Packers have sent us back 30 years.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Now, I mean, they're good. They're a good team. You know, Aaron Rodgers is obviously a good player. I'd hate to see him get a second Super Bowl, especially as he like just like perpetuates the myth that Joe Rogan isn't fucking mentally ill. But like, whatever, you know, fine. Sure. They're good. They're a good football team. It is what it is. I wish that beady-eyed homeless man would like not win another Super Bowl, but like they do look like they could do it. So I hope it doesn't happen. I'm cheering for the Cowboys more and more as the weeks go on.
Love it. 2, the best week to ever be on a bye. The Los Angeles Rams.
They're solid though. They
are solid. Everyone around them wants. They're the only team that I just said this. So they're one of the only teams in the top 10 that did not lose this past week. And like you said, they're solid all around. There's not a weakness on this team. You know, in the wide receiver core.
However,
go ahead.
I will say this: who did they play last week before their bye week? I watched that game.
They lost to the Titans, right?
They lost to the Titans, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I witnessed, which I've seen a little bit of Matt Stafford on the Rams, and I've like, you know, seen the stats and stuff, but I used to watch him a lot more than I do now for obvious reasons because he played for the Detroit Lions. And he's still got all the same problems. And like he there's just a new division that needed a little while to figure it out. But like I saw shitty Bears teams get him off his rhythm and have him lose games. And like it seems like maybe they've got his number in that division now. Or in, you know, just it's sort of in like his opponents in general now that they've seen him in that offense. Matt Stafford's I'd be very surprised if Matt Stafford retired with a Super Bowl ring. I really would.
You get in Stafford's face, you fuck him up.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's mentally weak. I just think that for him to be good, he's a rhythm guy, you know, like he's a volume shooter, you know, for lack of a better term. Like he needs to be hitting. He'll complete you 35 passes and win you a game, but if he's going to do that, he needs to throw it like 60 times. And
he's the average son of the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. It's like if you can sort of, he's like Eddie House, you know. But it's you gotta get him off his rhythm, and it seems like teams are doing that. The weirdest part is the team best equipped to play against Matt Stafford is actually the Rams defense. And like he has to play, you know, so he has to scrimmage against them every week. So I wonder if that's helping him. But like he looked like the same guy to me last time I saw them lose. So we'll see. We'll see if teams can put that together. I don't know. I think he's a phony.
And number 1 by default again, the Cardinals, man.
They're weird. They're weird as fuck too, though. Still, right?
There was like I told you, they're a night of cocaine waiting to happen. They're either going to be the funnest, most amazing team that you watch, and you will have so much fun watching them, or you're going to be crashing down to earth, and you're going to hate your life the entire fucking time. There is
playoffs
no
are going to
in
tell us a
between.
lot. The playoffs are going to tell us a lot.
They really are, man.
Whatever happens in weird NFL seasons, like the playoffs are when, when the buck stops, when like the chips are down, for whatever other fucking generic sports terminology you want to use. Like, you're going to see who's actually good and who isn't. And I don't know if we're going to figure that out in the regular season.
Yeah,
Wait,
I have to say, this has been the hardest. Listen, we've only been doing it 2 years. So like compared to last year,
of all the years we've been doing
this has been the weirdest power rankings year every fucking week, man. I just look at these teams and I'm like, honestly, I could just throw all 10 of these teams at a dartboard and rank them in any way, and people would be like,
that's why the arguments have died down. Like, I feel like we always used to argue about the
you
power
can't
rankings,
argue anymore because it's like,
I don't
whatever.
know. I'm like, I don't know either. So it's like, you fucking tell me. The last like 3 or 4 weeks, like you said at the beginning, like the last like 3 or 4 weeks, I've looked at the power rankings and been like, sure.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. It makes no fucking sense anymore.
I don't envy you doing them.
The NFL was drunk the entire 21 season, and you can't even blame COVID anymore. The NFL is just fucking drunk.
It's like COVID hangover year, right?
Yeah. So that's good for football. Before we get to the Patriots, I'm about to piss my pants.
Welcome to Ringside with Ray and Prince. My name is Ray Leonard Jr.
Oh, is that the set? No, that's just my dad.
My name is Prince Daniels Jr.
Daniels again with a big home touchdown.
On this show, we come to humanize
athletes, entertainers, business executives. We're going to see what makes them tick.
Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll see you there. Peace and power.
Electric acid.
Hey, it's Tim from 50 Years of Music with 50-Year-Old White Guys, the comedy podcast you had no idea you needed. Join Ben, Jeff, and me as we continue our musical road trip back through the years and around the globe. See, just when you thought all white guys were like Joe Rogan, you come across 3 educators trying to remember when we were cool.
50 Years of Music with 50-Year-Old White Guys.
Electric acid. Electric acid.